Hey everybody, my name's Lorenzo. Welcome to the game plan. I have a new setup today. I hope you guys like it. So I just ended up putting my uniform and an American flag and my game plan sign that I got about a few years ago actually. These are things that are really important to me. So let me know what you guys think about this video today. We're going to be talking about the Colorado Springs bust. So let's check it out.
Meanwhile, I'm here at the White House as President Trump is going to mark 100 days in office tomorrow. Today, he is highlighting his border agenda. Attorney General Pam Bondi is here now, and she has everything to do with the video you just saw in Colorado Springs. Ms. Attorney General, thanks so much for seeing me. My first time seeing you since you got the job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us what you were thinking about when we were watching that video seconds ago.
America is safer tonight thanks to Donald Trump. Last night, Brian, what they did, to back up, during the Biden administration, they received 170 911 calls to that club alone. That club we were just watching, 170 calls. Wouldn't you think that would have been a red flag?
Wouldn't.
Nothing happened. Guns, shootings, ag batteries, nothing happened. So under Donald Trump, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, ATF, ICE, everyone went in together. DEA led this investigation. Went in, got 115 illegal immigrants, aliens in our country, arrested them, 2 with warrants, 12 guns seized. So what would happen in this club is you would go in, security would give you a menu of drugs, cocaine, there's something new called pink cocaine, meth, you could go in a bathroom stall, get that, there was prostitution, all these things going on. And we just now identified a member of Sinaloa cartel was also in there.
So that's interesting because it's not a sanctuary city, right?
No.
Denver is. But Colorado Springs isn't. You look at this for the longest time. What is the downside of raiding that club during the Biden years? Like, what's the negative side of it? Do you prefer illegal drug use and illegal aliens?
And prostitution and the violence and the shootings and the guns that was happening in that club, and no one did anything after 170 911 calls. Yet President Trump immediately, that was a really dangerous operation too, and that's why there were 300 agents all working hand in hand, and that's what Donald Trump has done so well. All of our agencies work so well together. Went in there, got these bad guys out, 115 arrests, 12 guns off the streets, lots of drugs off the streets now, less prostitution as a result of it.
It's so interesting. I know Kellyanne Conway did a great job focusing on fentanyl when it started emerging as the plague that's killed our country and so many young people in the first term. But you guys have really amped it up working with border security. In terms of fentanyl, taking it off the streets, do you have a number there?
Yeah, Brian, when I was state AG, I actually worked with Kellyanne when she was in the White House on this because the fentanyl was just emerging on the market. And yes, now since Donald Trump has been in office, DEA has seized over 21 million fentanyl pills. That's 21 million lives saved, in my opinion, off the streets.
No doubt about it. We also know, too, at the cusp of all the tariffs is getting China to stop sending the precursors to Mexico. If China would actually act responsibly, that would help your job a lot. It wouldn't even get to you, hopefully. Yeah. So let's talk about what's going on with these judges. The sensational video last week of having to arrest a judge, and now we have another judge reportedly in Wisconsin boycotting their courtroom or threatening to unless this judge is released. Tell me about this.
Sure.
Before she gets into this, I want to talk a little bit about the club situation. That's a little wild to, they have to have been scoping that club out for some time. And to get somebody to leak that there was many people that go to this club that are either have ties to some illegal activity or are in this country illegally, somebody tipped this place off. And maybe it's been going on for years, like Pam Bondi was saying, or I forget his name, was saying that, so many throughout the years during the Biden administration, they didn't do anything to that club. And, Denver, Colorado is a sanctuary city, but this place where they busted all these people is not. This is wild. I want to hear more about what's going on with the club situation, all the arrests.
Well, the judge, her last name is Dugan. She is in Milwaukee. And what she did to set the stage for that, there was a domestic violence case pending. This defendant was charged with pummeling a man in the face 30 times. That's like an MMA fight. He fell to the ground. He had strangled him. Then he punched a woman with a closed fist so hard in the face that she fell to the ground. Both victims went to the hospital. Domestic violence cases, it's hard enough to get a victim to cooperate. Both victims were sitting in that courtroom wanting justice with a state prosecutor. Court goes on. All of a sudden, the case isn't on the docket. Defendant's nowhere to be found. They found out that the judge learned that ICE was outside because he was an illegal alien from Mexico to arrest him, to deport him. She found that out. She raised her voice with the ICE, told them to go see the chief judge, came back in. While court was going on, she motioned for the defense attorney and the defendant to come up, snuck them out through a private chamber. You can't make this up. In her courtroom, snuck them out a back exit so he could run down the street. ICE ended up chasing him down the street. Someone saw him, chased him, caught him eventually. But the reason ICE, they make arrests in courtrooms all the time is because it's safe. A defendant has gone through security. They don't have a weapon. It's an easy arrest. No one's injured. But because she did this, she jeopardized the lives of law enforcement officers, even the defendant. By doing this, they had to have a chase down the street while victims of a crime were sitting in a courtroom.
Judge in jail?
Judge got arrested. She sure did.
So David Brooks, you know him, the columnist for the New York Times, who on PBS over the weekend said that the judge acted heroic.
Wow.
What do you say to that?
I say the victims of crime should be very happy today because these victims of crime, they deserve justice. This is a criminal judge sitting on a criminal bench. And anyone who's going to let any criminal defendant out a back door is absurd.
How much harder is your job in these sanctuary cities?
It's difficult, but we have Tom Homan, we have HSI, we have incredible partners working with us to get in there. And state law enforcement, Brian, they want to do their jobs, most of them. Their hands have just been tied.
It's going to have to go right up the court ladder.
It sure is, and that's what we're doing.
Right, and busy day, especially they salute today is about border security and security in the country as you look back at 100 days. And you hope, of course, the best is yet to come.
That judge is definitely a DEI hire, for sure. Glad she's in jail.
So, good morning. John Pullen with DEA and the Rocky Mountain Division. We're here on the scene of an underground nightclub where over 300 federal law enforcement, along with our local partners from El Paso County and Colorado Springs PD, executed an enforcement operation this morning. It's a drug investigation. We seized quite a number of guns and took a number of people into custody. I think what I'd like for people to know as a result of this operation is that Colorado Springs is waking up to a safer community today.
Jonathan, give us some perspective here. 300 law enforcement officers. What brought about this kind of requirement, this kind of need to be here with that show of force?
So this is an underground illegal nightclub, okay? And what was happening inside was significant drug trafficking, prostitution, crimes of violence. We seized a number of guns in there. We had active duty service members who were running security at the club and involved in some of these crimes. And in fact, we had over 100 illegal aliens inside as well, and those over 100 illegal aliens were taken into custody by ICE.
Active duty service members helping as security here. Can you elaborate on that at all?
So it's an ongoing investigation, but we had over a dozen active duty service members in the club tonight, either as patrons or working as armed security.
Wow.
How many of those were detained and what are they facing right now?
So Army CID was one of our partners out here, and they're going to work with us on what the next steps for those active duty service members looks like.
You mentioned that this is a drug trafficking operation. Can you elaborate on any drugs you found, the amount, any charges you anticipate that could come out of tonight?
So as you may suspect, when the cops showed up at the door, most of the drugs hit the floor. And we did find cocaine. It looks like some pink cocaine or the Tusi. And there's a little bit of other drugs, but we haven't had time to test everything. But there were dozens of small packages of drugs that they've recovered so far that I've personally seen.
How are y'all tipped off to this location?
This has been a long-term investigation by DEA and a number of our federal partners. And so we've been working on this underground nightclub for a number of months, doing undercover, surveillance, a lot of other work to identify what's going on here. And again, months-long information about drug trafficking and prostitution happening inside.
So you said there were 300 federal law enforcement. How many people were actually inside of this underground nightclub?
We estimate over 200 people were inside the nightclub when we came here tonight, and so that's why we needed such a large force. Anytime you're dealing with that many people, we want to do it safely, and that's what we did.
Because of the nature of the nightclub, are all of them facing charges? Everyone inside?
No, they're not. A lot of people were turned away. As I said, over 100 went into ICE custody. A few people went on state arrest warrants. They had outstanding warrants, and we actually have a few other operations pending right now across the city. We're waiting to determine if there'll be other arrests from those.
Did you guys face any immediate threats going in, or was everything just a smooth operation going in and out, making sure everything was taken care of?
Anytime there's 200 people, there's going to be a little bit of concern about safety, but overall it was a safe operation.
Good.
Was the TDA present here?
In our investigation, we have noticed TDA, MS-13, and I believe Hell's Angels in this club. I don't have the information about whether those members were there tonight, but we're still working through a lot of that because we have so many people in custody. We're working through a lot of the information about who's who.
Those active duty military members are a disgrace here. They're definitely gonna probably most likely get kicked out of the military if they were caught being there trying to do security for this illegal nightclub. This is wild, and that starts to open the question and opening the door to other things in the entire country. How many illegal clubs are out there in this country, not just in Colorado Springs? And they said they've been working months on this, so that's gonna let you know, okay, if Trump got into power January 20th and it's April, I mean, I'm seeing the next few months a crackdown on so many places in the country. I'm glad this is happening. We're cleaning up shop. We're cleaning up the country. We're getting rid of people that are doing illegal things and are causing, a lot of bad negative things in this country. We do not need. We need to move forward in this country in a positive way, and we can't do it with these people that are so against goodness in this country.
County back in January, you received criticism because you didn't have arrests. You talked about the cops went in, the drugs went to the ground. Are you expecting to be criticized here, and how do you address those critics now?
So DEA is going to continue to work to keep our community safe, no matter what the criticism is, right? We are not going to accept drug trafficking and prostitution in our cities, and so absolutely Colorado Springs is waking up to a safer city this Sunday morning.
Can you talk to us about the local assistance and how that all played out?
Absolutely. We had over 10 federal agencies in support of this operation, but we also had Colorado Springs PD and El Paso County Sheriff's Office supporting us.
2 more questions.
Obviously, Tony mentioned too the one in Adams County that also involved quite a bit of people who were here illegally. What do you say to anyone's concern or vantage point that these look like immigration operations happening under DEA operations?
These crimes go hand in hand, right? When we find drug trafficking and prostitution, unfortunately, we're finding a lot of illegal aliens. 200 people in this club, a lot of drug trafficking happened, weapons, prostitution, over half the people inside were illegals.
Jonathan, you talked about the investigation is ongoing, but talk to us about the significance of active duty military being investigated for drug-related crimes at this location.
Yes, it's obviously concerning to have active duty military involved. We're working with our partners at Army CID on that piece. Obviously, where we are here in the Springs, there's a lot of military bases here, so it's not necessarily surprising, but we're going to take that very seriously.
What's the message?
The message is we're not going to stand for this criminality in our city.
Good.
Real quick, can you confirm if those active duty were related to Fort Carson?
I cannot.
How proud of your team are you?
That's all, folks, for the further questions. Just wrap up.
Y'all asking.
Just the last thing I'll say is appreciate all you guys coming out here, and we just want to give a big thank you to the 10 federal agencies and El Paso County Sheriff's Office and Colorado Springs Police Department for sending all these officers out here to make us have a successful operation today.
Peace through strength. You know, Trump, everybody knew what Trump was going to do when he came into power. They knew that when he came down, he was going to put his foot down and put a reset on the founding of this country, and how to sustain ourselves and not depend on crooked politicians into sending taxpayer money to all these places around the world and allowing, illegals that are criminals to come into this country and do whatever they want, commit murder and crimes. And also, whoever, I want to look and see who that judge is, the two judges, the one that allowed one to escape from the courthouse and the other one that was harboring an illegal immigrant. Like, these people are supposed to be standing for justice, and that's this isn't good. Now we also have to start checking on every single judge out there to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody.